to welcome our Harris County's District Attorney, Ms. King Oaks, come over here to meet all of us in the committee. So also we invite Don will be part of our guest. We're going to have a little bit conversation with our district attorney about our area, especially on the public safety issue. So Ms. King Oaks, could you say a few words before we get into the question?
First of all, thank you to this community for the economic engine you have provided Houston in terms of individual-owned businesses, banking, restaurants. You're a vibrant part of our economy, and I'm grateful as a native Houstonian. Public safety is vital to good business, and I think fear for customers and employees means that public safety has to be number one in the business community's mind. I'm here as your district attorney, top law enforcement official, to say that we understand the tie between business and profit and crime, and we all have a reason to work together to fight the criminals.
Very nice. Don, could you have some question for district attorney about?
Yes, first of all, it's my great honor to sit here with you too. The biggest names in Harris County, Houston, city of Houston, DA and the chairman of the International District, the big names. It's a great honor to sit here next to you guys. Ms. Kim, would you please introduce yourself, your title, and how long have you been in the office?
I am Kim Ogg, Harris County District Attorney, which means Chief Prosecutor.
Yes.
We run an institution that prosecutes all criminals for state crimes committed here in Harris County. We serve 5 million people, 850 employees, and we file 100,000 cases for police agencies like the constables, HPD, and the Sheriff's Department every year. So we're mission driven to protect our community by taking their cases, police cases, into court to hold criminals accountable. We have to start with keeping them in jail. And I think that's where we're going to be advocating more. We have to stop the release of violent offenders into the business communities.
I think another thing I want to ask you that you prosecute many cases, especially in this region. You know, Southwest District, we have a lot of the crime thing. Could you give us some sample? What did you do for us this region? You know,
Yes. As a native, I've watched this area grow exponentially, and we've seen it attract great opportunities for people to enjoy the business opportunities here as customers and as business owners. We've seen some customers attacked. We know that in the case of Joseph Harrell, who attacked and paralyzed Nong Trong, a young woman here, a Vietnamese woman here, we got him 30 years in the penitentiary for her aggravated robbery. We know that we have Mr. Fing Liu currently charged with the murder of the Sun family. It happened in Cyprus, not in this international district, but the Sung family was very important to the Houston community, and we're waiting to try him. We have some of the biggest cases that have affected Southeast Asians in Houston, and it's very important that we tell the community what's happening with these cases so that they have confidence. If they are victimized, that their attackers will be captured and prosecuted to the full extent of the law.
See, on my district, we also, first priority is public safety, you know, because our budget, half of them spent on the private security. So this is a very important issue for everybody, especially Asian is a lot of victims, you know, in the Chinese, in the thing. So attorney, you know, district attorney, really, this is something in the future. We see how our community could create a bit tighter relationship. Anything case coming out, so we can report it to the district attorney to help us to prosecute the crime, right, Don?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Ms. DA, for you already know the Asian community, the biggest problem with the Asian community is their language. Their language. How many Asian staff members do you have working for your office?
We have an increased number each year because we're advertising right into the high schools out in the Alief area and this area to specifically attract Asian applicants. We know that we've increased by 90% our Asian hiring at the DA's office in the last 7 years. So I'm proud to say we have people from around the globe, most who were born here because they're young, lawyers, young administrators, but we also offer translation services. And it's important for people to know that regardless of their immigration status, their cases will be prosecuted.
We thank you for that. We thank you for that.
Well, a lot of Asian, they probably need some kind of legal assistance, you know, when they're facing the crime issue, where they could go to get some assistance from legal thing.
If they are crime victims, they can get compensation through the Attorney General's Office Crime Victims Compensation Fund. If they're a witness, call the Harris County District Attorney's Office if you have a question about a subpoena or testifying in court. And if you're the victim of crime, call law enforcement. 911 if it's an emergency, otherwise HPD, the Sheriff's Department, or the constables.
And once the report is filed during the trial, do you have any Asian investigator to help to communicate with the victim as well?
Yes, we do. We hire as many bilingual or trilingual investigators and prosecutors as possible because of that. The language barrier is tough, and it makes public safety even harder. But I think working with the police departments, who are also increasing the number of investigators who speak other languages, we'll do better. The community will be less afraid. The longer they're here, the more they work with law enforcement, I think they will trust us more.
Yes, ma'am. And especially for the Asian who came from a third world country, lack of trust with the law enforcement.
That's right, they don't
Yes.
trust the law
So
enforcement.
it's very good that we have the representative of each community to bridging the gap.
We do. I think that's why if we come and tell you more often,
Yes.
what happened to your friend who was murdered, or
Yes.
in this case, there was a father of two murdered in a Chinese restaurant right here in the International Business
Yes,
District,
yes.
2016. His murderer got life without parole.
Okay.
Everyone needs to know
Yes.
these guys are going down.
Yes.
And if we can just get to them faster through better reporting,
Yes.
increased case solving. They're going faster and faster because of cameras
Yes.
and technology. They're catching more criminals than ever for us to prosecute. This will drive the crime rate down, not just in the international business community, but all over Harris County.
One of the things I try to suggest that in the future, probably we need to have some kind of a news release with your office.
Yeah.
We could translate to Vietnamese, Chinese, or everybody know what's going on in our community, especially those crime, right? That would be helping the people understand what DA's office is doing for our community.
Yes.
So please, maybe our staff could continuously invite you come back to our community, talk about the issue. That would be great.
We're going to do this,
Yes.
and I think we're
Yes.
going to hook up
Yes.
on a daily basis
Yes.
because we all
So-
know you're the news of the community,
Thank you.
and we want everyone to know what's happening. It will reduce fear. Greater information means more confidence, and that means lower crime.
Yes.
And I believe in communication. Communication is a key to everything. So hopefully in the near future, we can have a website from the district attorney with different languages.
Yes.
Spanish, Vietnamese, Chinese, to where a non-English speaker can get in there and get onto the website and report crime
That's
or
right, that's
reach out for help.
Do the law enforcement agencies have that option for crime reporting?
They do have crime reporting system. but I'm not sure if they have in Vietnamese or Chinese, and that's something that I am looking forward in the near future. Hopefully, we can have that
Yes.
to help.
Let's work toward that.
Yeah, one of the things, International Management District could work with the DA office to create, we have some budget to do that too, because our priority is, law enforcement, safety thing. So we really think this is about time, we should. Also, the paper I print, you just saw with all the local community newspaper, maybe they need to know what the DA office is doing for us.
Yeah.
At least how they could reach the people to get help, right? That's the thing. Our community, they're too conservative. They think, we need to educate them.
Let's do that.
Let's see what we can
Well,
work
and
together.
especially like I mentioned before, for Asian, they have bad experience back in the country with law enforcement. So a lot of times they think in the mindset that, well, if I'm reaching out to the constable or the sheriff or municipal
Doesn't
police,
help.
maybe they are corrupt and they come for each other. Where else or who else can I reach out for help? Maybe the next step they need to reach out to the district attorney.
Yeah. District attorney is the people's lawyer.
Yes.
We represent the people's interests to a secure county, and we deserve that. They pay taxes. They bring their families here. You have businesses that employ other people. These are all assets for Houston, and so people deserve protection. I'm glad that the business community sees the incredible value in these partnerships. And in Houston, private sector always does more than their share. They always are pitching in for the greater good. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So today is just such a great honor. We're going to continue in the future. Invite our DA come over here to continue our conversation, right?
Yes, it's a great honor and we look forward to.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay,